Dude, Luke, the printer's still busted. What the fuck, man?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the 29th episode of the Topless Robot podcast. Topless Robot.
Robot.
My name is Ryan.
My name is Brooks.
I'm Eam.
Dean.
And it has been a week of things as I try to find the goddamn timer.
It has been a week.
Oh.
I shamelessly ripped that off from Love It or Leave It. It has been a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a thing that's ripped off from that specifically? Everybody says that.
Yeah, no, it just kind of like, I listen to a lot of Love It or Leave It, and he starts the, he says, it has been a week, and before I knew it, I kept saying it on our podcast.
I can't stop!
And I'm like, I need to not do that. I need to make it and I have, at this point, embraced it.
It's the new living the dream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. God damn it, Brooks. Brooks spent some time in New Zealand since the last episode.
Yeah, they had lots of pens and pencils. Chris Emsworth was visiting from Australia.
But he only learned specific words in their language.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
It's like I'm really there.
Swivels.
So, some things have happened this week. We do have news. I want to start with the Sega Genesis Classic.
Yes! Yes! I've been waiting to talk about this all day. Yes.
Nope, you already broke the bit. It's over.
I have to refer to it from here on out as the Sega Mega Drive.
They've announced 10 of the 40 games.
Yes.
And they're all just Sonic.
It's not just the Sonic's
one
Genesis
copy
collection.
of Mortal Kombat.
No, they have Castlevania Bloodlines on there, and that's one of my favorite
fucking
ones.
really?
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And Gunstar Heroes.
I like that it starts out with Sega.
Don't they have a Space Harrier?
Space Harrier, I'm pretty sure they'll probably throw Space Harrier and like Altered Beast, but I prefer the arcade versions to the ports.
All right, so
I'm a Sega fanboy, okay?
Aw. September 19th.
September 19th of this year.
Sega does what Genesis don't. I mean, what Nintendo. Sorry, I fucked that up.
So yeah,
Echo.
here's what's been announced so far.
my
Echo the Dolphin,
God.
Castlevania Bloodline, Space Harrier 2,
Comic
Shining
Zone?
Force, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine,
Fuck yeah.
Toe Jam and
my
Earl,
God.
Comic Zone, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Altered Beast, and Gunstar Heroes.
I called it.
I'm definitely stoked for Castlevania, Space Harrier 2, and Shining Force.
I hope Shining Force 2 is on there as well.
I wonder how deep they're going to get into the sequels. Like if we're going to have all of the Sonic games on, of the 40, games.
Well, we're
like
probably going to have
Spinball and
we're gonna have 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles. Well, I really hope 3 and Knuckles is on there.
Yeah.
I know they've had issues in the past, like why we haven't got a revamped 3 and Knuckles port, like with like Christian Whitehead and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it's due to licensing issues because MJ worked on some of the music.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. That's right. But he was never originally credited for it.
No, because when that happened, that's when the first series of allegations came out, and Sega was like, maybe we shouldn't hang out with this guy. Even though they put him in Space Channel 5, like 5 years later.
Yeah. Like 5 years later?
Or maybe 4. Oh, well, 94. I feel like
when did because Space Channel 5 wasn't a year 1 release for Dreamcast, was it? It was like
I think it was year 2. I think 2000.
So 2000 or 2001.
Yeah,
probably. But yeah,
Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker is my favorite game.
Oh my God, this is life now. At least for today.
Life after Brooks.
I'm never.
He already broke character. He shouldn't be allowed to do this anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't think that he should be allowed to do this.
I'm never doing this fucking podcast again.
Oh yeah, we should acknowledge that poor Tyler is homesick.
Sick, like a weakling.
We actually have repurposed Dan's dungeon for Tyler, so we're just keeping him there.
Tyler's sick bed.
He needs to think about what he's done.
It's a bed of nails.
If he would just stop
I just go
licking
in-
doorknobs, like
Yeah.
just for a day.
I go in there every now and then and start throwing wet hams at him until he screams.
No, you could just give him chicken noodle soup, but you just splash it in his face.
Don't even like heat it up first, just straight from the can.
I'm excited that this has an HDMI out because every like Sega like little plug and play essentially in the past has all been like RCA.
Well, so one thing that had me concerned was I remember Sega mentioned that they were working on a mini console. Obviously, they would with the success that the SNES Mini and the NES Mini have had. But I thought I remembered them saying that AT Games was going to be making it, and AT Games already makes the the Genesis clones and shit like that you find on the shelves at Target right now. The 380 fucking games, etc.
It's all
whatever.
Vector Man.
And that console is
It's all Cheetahman.
that console is notoriously terrible.
Mm-hmm.
AT Games I would not trust at all with making solid hardware. So I don't know who's manufacturing this.
I wonder if it's in house somehow.
I would hope so, but
I want one to go next to my little Super Nintendo.
yep. I am just going to
My-
collect all the mini consoles.
My
for sure.
big Genesis is currently in my room, but that takes up a lot of space.
I'm glad that it comes with 2 controllers. And I'm also glad that it is coming with a USB power adapter, which the PlayStation Mini did not come with.
I'm also glad that it's a Model 1 and not the Model 2.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like the Model 1's a little more iconic.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's what my... I guess he's somewhere packed away, probably. What my Sonic is standing on. My Sonic Mania collector's thing is
Oh wait,
standing on
no,
old
Sonic
Genesis.
is only on the Super Nintendo, dude.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So Mario is on the Super Nintendo.
Excuse me, it's pronounced Mario. You guys are fucking posers.
You're right. I like to go home and watch sports, and
Well, actually,
I only play FIFA and Madden.
Yeah.
I believe it.
God, I hope not.
I prefer NBA 2K17 personally.
I like Charles Barkley's "Shut Up and Jam" myself.
Oh my god.
Shut Up and Jim Gaiden, actually.
So
Shut Up and Jim Gaiden is the iconic version.
Or whatever that Scottie Pippen game was on the Genesis.
So you guys know the Genesis Collection, that game that's out, right?
Yeah.
You can get it on Switch. It's got
They put out one every like 8 years.
like about 40 or 50 games on it, something like that. The menu is like a living room, and you can play it in VR on PC and shit like that. I wonder how many of those titles, because I mean, if I recall correctly, there's about 40 or 50. I might be wrong in that, but there's about 40 or 50 games in that living room collection.
We have all these ones on there, and probably like eSWAT and probably Space Harrier, like more than just Space Harrier 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And all the Shining Force games and some of the Phantasy Star stuff.
Yeah, Phantasy Stars in there.
Yeah, I mean,
So I wonder if they'll end up just taking basically what's been released in this, collection, and just putting them on
I wouldn't
mini
buy
console.
that
for $1.
I wouldn't even be remotely surprised. And it's not going to matter. People are still going to buy this anyway. It's
yeah,
a collector's
it's a
item.
collector's
so-
Yeah, it's more.
Nothing is going to dissuade a collector from getting this.
Yeah, no way.
I have all these games, archived away in my ROM folders, anyways. So.
In my ROM palace.
My ROM palace, where the emulation of the mind.
But either way,
I've memorized the code that runs a Sega Genesis.
No one will understand the
It plays in my
complex humor that I
brain.
make.
Either way, I am very excited for this. And one of the fun, at least with...
we can plug a cartridge into Brooks's mouth and his eyes will project Sonic onto the wall.
That's only if I can bypass the lockout chip.
one of the nice side effects of these mini consoles coming out, obviously ignore Nintendo because they've got their dumb fucking Wii accessory plug for their controllers.
Yeah, it's kind of
because
annoying.
for some goddamn reason they're really, really married to that. But with the PlayStation, now we've got USB PlayStation controllers, and from the looks of the front of that machine, we're now going to have USB Genesis controllers.
Which is tight. I mean, that chunky Little Beast deserves to be played on more than just this.
Some good memories.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Some real good memories.
All the frustrating sleepovers, renting dumb games,
Good memories, mediocre controller.
or playing Columns because that's the only game my friend had when he moved.
I just want to play Cool Spot.
Oof, that's a game. That game's awful.
I love that game.
that
so
game is
much.
not
What do you
awful.
That
mean
game
it's
is
awful.
It's
awful.
so hard, but it's so good.
I'll tell you what.
terrible.
We'll play Cool Spot. You can go play your Lester the Unlikely. Okay.
No, you know what? I'll play Avoid the Noid.
Okay.
Oof.
I mean, we should just purposely only play the games that are just clearly just fucking advertisements.
Like the
for
Chester
dumb
Cheetah
shit.
games
Yeah,
and shit like
Or,
that.
I would-
or Mick Kids.
Yeah. Oh
there- was
God.
there-
I'm sorry,
McKids?
Mick
I
Kids
think so.
Global Gladiators on the Genesis.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Man.
This is slowly turning into a Sega episode, and I'm most pleased.
Which is
Mick,
weird.
I'm sorry,
I
Mick
should
and Mac
not
Global
know.
Gladiators. Yeah.
Oh, Mick and Mac. MC Kids.
MC. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Did you say MC Kids? It's Mick Kids.
Mick
It's MC Kids.
Yeah, Mick Kids.
It's starring
It's
MC
M
Kids.
period C
The kid with the
period.
hat.
Mick Kids.
It's
McDonald's.
clearly-
Masters of Ceremony Children, please.
It says MC Kids. It legit does on Wikipedia.
It's the Mick Kids from McDonald's. No.
yeah. It
Stop
says it on fucking
From
Wikipedia, bro.
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Look, see? Look at those guys.
Mick Kids.
You know that guy's high top fade is just the coolest.
Ugh.
You know, I used to when I was like when I
like that
was
they're
little.
clearly about to kick each other in the nuts.
Hold on, what? Yep. That's going to end poorly.
Like, high five.
When they go
But-
down for the land, it's
Yeah.
just knee to groin.
Mick Casualty.
Oh man, all the fucking old tie-ins. The characters are armed with a Super Soaker type gun that shoots gooey projectiles.
Gross.
That's really gross.
Just use a real gun like the kids in 2019.
The game engine is the same
Whoa.
used in other Virgin Interactive games such as Cool Spot.
Disney's Aladdin. Oh, we're gonna get copyrighted. I said Disney out loud.
Kill you.
No, I mean that Aladdin game was dope.
I only
Yeah,
played
I
that on the
enjoyed that
Super
Aladdin game.
Nintendo.
the Lion King one was really hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember playing the Lion King.
I'll
one.
always remember that weird noise they
Yep.
make. Meow.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that.
I wonder if they're gonna put the ooze on there because they got Comic Zone and those are like some of the best STI releases.
sexually transmitted infection.
No, Sega Technical Institute.
Oh yeah.
I know more Sega lore than anything else.
Comic Zone
Sexually
is
Technical
fucking
Institute.
brutal.
I love it. I love it. You guys
I
should-
love it too.
You guys should play it on Get Good.
yeah.
You played Comic
God.
Zone?
No.
Prepare
You should.
yourself for ultimate comic book
I don't
style
think I
violence.
ever
It
beat like
is.
the
One of us
second
has to
level.
be good at the game, though.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well,
Well, what if I show up as a guest spot?
we could do that.
I have to
but
I
yeah,
have to remember to get good at Comic Zone.
Comic Zone is hard. You have 3 lives, no continues. Yeah.
That's one of the worst holdovers from the arcade era.
Yep.
Is that games, when they were ported to consoles, were given finite number of lives, but because you didn't have any tokens, there were no continues on the game.
Yep.
Poor design choice.
The ooze is like that as well.
Oof.
But you know they were trying to preserve the "fuck you, play this game if you dare" kind of attitude.
I'm
mean-
still really glad that we've moved away from continues or
Yeah.
that kind of system.
I think I don't know. I feel like a lot of that too is that they kind of built those games knowing that the kids playing those games had 10 or 15 hours a day to devote to just memorizing every jump and every way to dodge and every enemy that they were going to come across.
So if guys
and
like
it became
Dan-
muscle memory. Because I was so fucking good at games like that when I was a kid, and now I sit down and try and play them and I'm like, what the fuck? What how do I suck at this now? How
Yeah.
do I Yeah.
Man,
You know,
I spent an entire month playing this game during the
Exactly.
summer in 1993.
This was my entire Christmas break, 1994, and now I suck at it. And it's only been 25 years. Why do I suck at it now?
I spent half a summer in 2005 playing Sonic Adventure because I didn't get to play it until.
I'm sorry.
No, I love that game. Sonic Adventure is great.
you would.
It's better than Sonic Adventure 2.
Now, every time anyone brings up Sonic Adventure, I just hear Mel doing that perfect Tails impression. Sonic! It's fucking great.
Well,
No, that was too loud. You have to say that underneath the whir of an airplane engine screeching through your stereo system.
with really shitty butt rock playing. Yeah, I know the songs too. I had the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack. I got that for Christmas one year because my folks were like, "You like video game music?" I did not own the game. I never played it.
Rolling around at the speed of
There's more than just that.
I know.
You got to live and learn.
Right. Yeah.
Just hang on to the edge of tomorrow.
Oh my god.
And I can't remember if we talked about this before, but it made me think about it because of the Genesis Mini is the upcoming Konami anniversary collection.
Yes.
I'm extremely excited for that.
I will be getting probably all of them at some point.
Yeah.
Because they have. Some of those arcade titles they have, I've been playing on MAME and stuff. But I'd prefer to buy them.
Yeah, there's their arcade classics are so far what's been announced is Haunted Castle, Life Force, Nemesis, Scramble, Thundercross, Twin Bee, Typhon, and Vulcan Venture.
Yeah.
Which is Gradius 2 apparently. And Nemesis is Gradius. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Twin Bee is one of my favorites. I love Twin Bee.
I love the little jingle, Yeah.
And then what's been announced for the Castlevania Anniversary Collection is Castlevania, Castlevania 2, Castlevania 3, Super Castlevania 4.
You'll probably get Bloodlines, Symphony of the Night, another release of Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
And if we're lucky, the real version of Dracula X Rondo of Blood.
Yep.
If we're really lucky, we'll get Castlevania 64.
Oh, God, no! It never existed.
Do you
they
want
never
me
made
to throw
it.
up? Because I will, and
it.
I don't want to throw up on Ryan's bare legs or M's cool pants.
Oh, man. Castlevania 64 is so bad. Actually, what I want to see is... Belmont's Revenge is that Castlevania 2 is not the Castlevania 2 NES game. It is the Game Boy game.
Nice.
I remember enjoying the hell out of that.
Yeah, the Game Boy ones were pretty fun.
Yeah.
When they made the switch over to the Metroidvania style, some of the titles were kind of fun, but I got hung up on the lore and how dumb it was.
Oh. You mean like...
Every 100 years, Dracula's castle manifests on the side of Mount Fuji.
You mean like Soma's entire line, the DS games, or the
Game Boy
games?
Advance ones, and the DS one. I mean, I still played a lot of them because they're fun.
Because Soma is the main character in 2 of
Thought that was the main character in Kingdom Hearts.
That's Sora.
Whatever. Kingdom Hearts is dub. Tyler isn't here to complain.
But the dude who can absorb the souls of the enemies, and that's how you get your abilities.
Shit.
That's because that makes its first appearance on Game Boy Advance, and then continues in the DS, if I remember correctly. But those were fucking great. I love those games so much. I wish they would come back.
I love that. Did you guys ever play that Castlevania multiplayer game that came out?
Harmony of
Dissonance. Yeah, that game was so much fun.
I wanted to, but no one was playing it.
I have it on. I bought it on my PS3, and I paid the extra for the Simon Belmont DLC because you get the 8-bit sprite of Simon Belmont.
Oh, that would be pretty cool.
But he's much more powerful than everyone else, and he's a little bit shorter, so sometimes projectiles will just straight up miss you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was great. You could just fucking wreck through that game if everyone was just Simon Belmont.
I don't have a ton to add to this conversation because my mom accidentally bought me a Castlevania game. It might have been Symphony of the Night. Whatever one came out on the original PlayStation.
That was Symphony of the Night.
Yeah. And then I put it on, and she was like, "This is about vampires," and took it away and threw it away. And I was never let because Jehovah's Witnesses. But
yeah.
You're JW.
I was not. My mother is.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Christmas must have sucked.
Yeah, Symphony of the Night.
It's called Surprise Day.
Oh.
Was it December 24th or 6th?
It was at some point during Christmas. I don't remember exactly.
That's a shame because Symphony of the Night is don't get me wrong, the old Castlevania games are still fun in their own right, but specifically Symphony of the Night became a turning point in that series.
Oh, yeah.
And is arguably the best Castlevania game ever
Thanks.
made.
You're making me feel really awesome right now.
You can still play it.
No, I mean, it
now
exists.
that I'm fucking
Play
30
it.
years old, yeah, I can. I can do whatever I want.
Konami releases Symphony of the Night on everything every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You can. Yeah, I mean,
You can take your pick in the vast array of platforms on which to play it.
if you want, I'll install it on the fridge.
Put it on the thermostat. Put it on the thermostat.
Stand there.
Yeah.
Jasmine will be like, I'm trying to cook. I'll be like, sorry.
All right, I gotta get past
Gotta-
this.
I got
gotta-
shit I gotta do.
I gotta kill Dracula. Actually, it's not even Dracula in that game.
It's just a bat.
Shaft.
Yep.
There's just bats.
Well, I mean, you still fight Dracula.
Yeah, you fight Dracula.
I mean, you fight Dracula, but Dracula's not the big bad. Not the true big bad.
Yeah, Shaft is the true big bad.
Yeah.
I think my favorite.
God, spoilers, guys. Come on.
My favorite.
Oh, no.
My favorite. I think one of my favorite bosses from that is the giant guy that's on the meat hooks with the flies.
Yeah.
Beelzebub. One of my
It
favorites.
is. It's possible to beat that game after only having seen technically half of that game.
Yeah.
So, like every Fallout game.
It's like 250.
No, you can beat any Bethesda game only seeing like 5% of it.
Yeah.
But I still love them.
I like because the first time I played through it, I was like, "What? That's it?"
Yep.
And then I was like, "Oh wait a second.
Yep.
This is more than 100% for some reason."
Because you need one specific item. You need to go into the final boss with one specific item equipped in order to unlock the latter half of the game.
It's spoilers. It's Alucard's Codpiece.
It's just a skull that you've hollowed out, and your dick goes in the eye hole.
You know,
Throwback to pre-show warm-up.
back
where
when
I
I was
get all
talking
my
in my New
jokes.
Zealand accent. Have
Hit
you?
reset.
Oh, geez. You know what Alucard is? Alucard is, right? You guys know what that is?
Yeah,
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dracula
I
backwards.
don't know. So I've told more
I
people.
thought you were
about that.
setting us up for a really bad joke
No.
for a second.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Castlevania. There's no jokes here.
Sure.
What is a Brooks? Nothing but a miserable pile of jokes.
You have to break your glass.
But enough talk. Have at you.
Put enough puns. Have at you. The voice acting is legendary.
Yeah, they redid it for one of the releases. Yeah.
That kind of bums me out.
If I remember correctly, the version that is unlockable in the Rondo of Blood release on
PSP,
has updated voice acting.
That's a shame.
Yep.
It'd be like if they went and fixed the voice acting in X4.
Yeah. There's something so magical about it that it has to stay shitty forever.
Yeah, it's just
You can't fuck with that.
No.
So yeah, I am very excited for the Konami anniversary collections. I think those will be really good.
Yeah, and then we didn't even talk about fucking Contra.
Yeah, the Contra games that have been announced so far: Contra, Super C, Contra 3, The Alien Wars. Honestly, they're I don't know why they're announcing games. There are few enough Contra games where they can just release all of them.
Well,
Yeah.
May as well.
Oh, I mean, they want people to be somehow surprised that they're going to throw Contra Hardcore in there or something.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we could also be getting like a graphical update on the Contra reboot. From I think it was on the PS2.
The Contra reboot.
Yeah, I think it was. I know it was a Contra title. I think it had a subtitle as well. It's on the PS2.
Huh.
I remember the character art being kind of a little weird. Not like bad weird, just like, this is Contra? These guys are in like robot samurai outfits.
Oh, weird. Speaking of samurais,
Oh.
Yacht Club Games.
Oh, I have two things to talk about. Two more that and the other thing that I want to talk about coming out. I'm very excited for Cyber
Shadow.
This looks like, whereas The Messenger was more like a tongue-in-cheek homage to Ninja games generally, I think this is just going to be the Ninja Gaiden game we never got.
Yeah, it looks really good. And I was talking to Dan earlier about how stoked I am that it feels like the Ninja Gaiden genre was something that didn't get a lot of nostalgia love out of indie devs until recently.
Yeah.
And The Messenger has done it, and now this Cyber Shadow And it gets me excited because I fucking love those old games.
I think a big reason as to why that's happening now is because of the massive success of like hard AAA games. This is a subgenre of gaming that's now going to get more love from indie devs because it's okay to make your games hard now instead of making them for babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna, you know, I mean, I remember Ninja Gaiden being kind of like a rite of passage as far as like, oh, I beat Ninja Gaiden. Oh, what? That game is hard as fuck.
And it sucks.
No, it does not suck. The cutscenes are dope.
Yeah, okay, sure.
And the music is fucking awesome.
The music is
Sorry, I'm talking about the game, isn't the part that you play.
I enjoyed the hell out of that game.
I did too, but there was a lot of very, very bad pitfalls in it. And the way the enemies spawned, all of that kind of shit.
Good.
I mean, like, the enemy spawns on those old games was kind of dubious because it was all based on camera movement.
It ruined a lot of the challenge, for sure. It just became arbitrary. When you could stand in a specific spot on the screen and force a single enemy to spawn repeatedly, that's just bad. That's bad.
But that was a big thing.
I understand technical limitations,
old,
but it doesn't matter. It doesn't become good or bad.
And then Ninja
It's just
Gaiden
bad.
2 was dope, and then Ninja Gaiden 3 was dope.
Yeah, they were fun to play. But I'm not going to excuse some of that shit. It's not allowed.
You know, we're just gonna blast Ryu's determination loud enough to not hear you taint our nostalgia.
No, I love those old games. I really enjoyed playing them, and I mean, yeah, they were fucking challenging, but so was Contra. So were, you know, all those games.
Yeah,
it's what made, you know, it's what made them last.
Yeah.
Hey, let's make this fucking hard game so we have time to develop another one.
Yeah. Let's put 2 hours of content and make it hard enough to stretch out to 6 hours, and we can work on.
We can stretch this out over 3 issues of Nintendo Power, guys.
But yeah, it's cool to see Yacht Club announce a follow-up in general.
Yeah.
I think they did such a great job with Shovel Knight. And furthermore, they did such a great job in supporting Shovel Knight.
yes.
Yeah.
Well,
they came
after
through on
release.
all of their promises.
Just, hey, here's another game.
So now, you know, we've got Cyber Shadow, which looks like a beautiful love story, you know, love letter to stuff like Ninja Gaiden. And if their long-running support of Shovel Knight is any indicator, this is just going to get that same treatment, and it's going to keep delivering well after you're done with the mainline story,
which is just wonderful.
They better call their expansion something ridiculous like Gaiden, and then, you know, like X, something to do with you know, just any kind of tagline.
They would be foolish not to.
Well, and like yesterday I was playing Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Yeah,
because I was
so good
jonesing for that retro feel with. Then I stopped playing it and started playing the Messenger instead. So I was like, because I got to the final level and I was like, this is fine. This is not what I want to do right now. But I really, really hope this game is good. I wonder if they're gonna get Jake Kaufman to do the music for it again, because he did the Shovel Knight soundtrack.
Oh, sure.
And he rules.
Yeah.
Yes. He also did the soundtrack for Mighty Switch Force.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got a very recognizable style I've found over the last couple of years. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Speaking of other things that I can't wait for, Streets of Rage 4.
Yes.
Streets of Rage 4.
Streets of Rage 4.
Bare Knuckle 4. It's coming.
I didn't even know that was a thing until you posted the video. Looks great.
Yeah, it looks like enough of the original art style to be cool, but new enough to not be. We reskinned 2 and put new bad guys in.
Yes, I get really nervous when I see that games from those genres are making a comeback because they flop on the aesthetic most of the time.
Yeah.
And
I remember really wanting to like Double Dragon Neon, but it looked bad and it played very slow.
Yeah.
So at least the very small amount that I've seen for Streets of Rage 4 is promising, but I don't want to get too into the hype train.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it because I love the Streets of Rage franchise so much, as we know, because I've talked about it every week for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. And part of the reason I'm excited about something about popular stuff are things coming into the mainstream again that I liked that haven't is all the merch that's probably gonna come out.
Oh, sure.
Because like as of right now, I can get like an official Streets of Rage like hat and like a belt, but I just want like a cool Streets of Rage T-shirt, guys.
Yeah.
A second Streets of Rage hat.
A second one.
In slightly different colors.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it has a 2 next to it, you know.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that with Streets of Rage, they're doing a sequel as opposed to doing a remake of the first ones, which
better.
is very different from the approach that any company that has decided to touch these old, classic titles are like, hey, let's redo the first one.
It makes me hopeful that it's not just going to be a shameless cash grab for people's nostalgia.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Yeah, and I haven't looked into much as far as who's working on it or not. But I really hope they get Yuzo Koshiro to do the soundtrack again, because the first 2 game soundtrack I regularly listen to. I've been listening to for most of this decade and the last, because they're awesome. They're rad. And one really interesting thing about the way that the music was done for the first 2 was that Yuzo Koshiro and the other guy that was working with him, I forget his name, but they were trying to incorporate like modern music at the time into it, as opposed to like, here's this cool video game track. He's like, no, I'm gonna go to this club and we're gonna get into techno and some house stuff. So I really hope that they kind of have a couple of stage BGMs with that old Streets of Rage thing, but I really hope that they're to do something brand new with the music. Yeah, because it needs to be good.
Take some modern day influences and fuse it with Despacito.
Yuzo Koshiro, if you're listening, stay off of SoundCloud.
Yeah, in general, I think that the way you do that right is you take the iconic elements of the first 3 and inject just a little, just enough of modern elements, but keep that same feel. Like. There have undoubtedly been quality of life, changes in standards with video games since the last Streets of Rage.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And so bringing some of that into this, but keeping that core gameplay is going to be a real key thing.
As long as I can beat social degenerates to death with a lead pipe still, I'm on board.
100%. I'm also just, like I said, I'm just so weary on all of the remakes that are going on, the remakes, the remasters, the re-releases. I enjoy some of them. Like I do enjoy the little consoles that are coming out. That's great. But I don't know. They got to stop. That's why I'm glad that they're making a new game. They're making a new Streets of Rage game.
And not rehashing the... I like that they just were like, hey, we're going to put these in 3D now. And that's all they've done with Streets of Rage.
Speaking of new games based on beloved properties, though this one I have to shame, is the Metal Slug mobile game.
Boo!
I didn't even know that existed.
It's not out yet.
Oh.
I've only seen advertisements for it. It's an idle game based on Metal Slug.
And
Metal Slug.
There are other Metal Slug mobile games that are already out. There's Metal Slug Attack and Metal Slug Defend. Metal Slug Defend is a tower defense. Metal Slug Attack is the same as that cat game.
They defend,
yeah,
and they attack, but most importantly, the gameplay lacks.
Yes.
But it's the whole tower v tower. You send out units as your economy allows in order to, which that I'm not super against, but
I just want to like roll through a wasteland with a tank and blow up Saddam Hussein Hitler.
Yeah.
I want to stab a million Nazis and then pick up a machine gun and shoot them all.
Heavy machine gun. What really
rocket launcher
bothers me, please, it's rocket launcher.
I wanted to not say it like that. If we say it too many times, Tyler just appears in the
podcast launcher. It hurts my heart to see a beloved series like that turn into microtransaction paradise on mobile.
SNK is fall. What's next? That's what I'm really scared
A Metal
of.
Slug pachinko machine.
No. We're gonna have like a King of Fighters trading card game.
Oh God.
Or a Samurai Showdown dating sim. Actually, that'd be kind of tight.
Joke dating sims are an untapped resource so far. There's more of them coming out. And I enjoy them because they make fun of an otherwise shitty genre of gaming.
We should make a Topless Robot dating sim.
Oh God.
I mean, didn't something like that already get done for Normal Boots?
Yes, Normal Boots
had one done.
Yeah,
But ours will be good.
I don't know if the Normal Boots one was good or not.
Yeah,
I don't know. I watched a little bit of Beard Bros playing through it with yeah. I get that there is an attraction to the genre, like there's an audience for that. I'm not that audience.
No.
Even watching someone play it, I'm not that audience.
No, it's because the only opportunity to make those fun to watch or fun to play through is to make the writing good.
Yeah.
And I think in joke ones you have a wonderful opportunity to do that, but I'm sure most of the time it's just going to fall flat on its face, especially when it's based on a group of people like Normal Boots, which a lot of them are hilarious, but I'd be worried that the writing is just like some fan and their wank fest over like, I love Normal Boots so much, they're so cool.
Yeah.
I wish to date Jodtrod. I think the best example of a, dating sim that's not, that isn't what it actually is, and it kind of makes fun of it, sort of. I think Doki Doki Literature Club is probably like the best.
Yeah, that's something that I still have to play.
Same.
Oh, you guys should you should record yourself playing that game because it's really fucked up.
So I've heard. I have heard that it is a bait and switch title.
Yes, it is.
I think I have also heard that directly from you, Brooks.
Hey, Doki Doki Literature Club is a pretty fucked up game.
Well, I'll
Brooks,
get
please talk more about Doki Doki.
No, I'm done. That's it.
It's the top of my priority list. Fuck grad school. I'm dropping out. Play this
five.
fucking game.
Priorities.
Fuck you, school. I'm gonna do something fucked up instead.
So I'm just kind of realizing that there have been a lot of announcements this week.
Yeah.
Borderlands 3
Yeah.
got announced this week.
So stoked.
I am extremely excited for that. I don't know what in that trailer was jokes and what was not, because
Doesn't matter.
honestly, it could all be in game, like Brick with a silly mustache playing the sax.
I think that's just his mustache
could actually
now.
be in the game.
Yeah, I hope it is.
And Walking Guns.
Yeah.
I did see. I'm like, I don't know, because I actually don't really know much about Borderlands, the franchise, at all. So
Really?
this is more of a you guys talking about it and me making jokes.
You would like it.
It's a great game. It's great writing.
I've seen Zeke play through some of it.
It's
off
very
and on.
stupid.
Yeah, that was why I continue to watch. But as far as playing them, I have yet to do so.
Let us not forget iconic character Face McShooty, whom you shoot in the face and he thanks you for it.
Yeah.
And then the quest ends.
And they have guns that insult you while you're shooting them.
Yeah. You have guns that go pew 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 and screech.
And you have guns that in order to reload them, you throw it away and it explodes.
And the more ammo left, the bigger the explosion.
Yeah.
All right.
They have done a lot of very cool things in Borderlands that are just ridiculous and fun. And I'm also happy to see that they announced free graphical updates for Borderlands 1, 2, and pre-sequel.
Wow.
So, and those arrive, if you're listening to this podcast right now, those are already available. And those are already out.
Oh my god!
The future is so weird.
It's like everything has changed. Nothing is the same, but everything is the same, but nothing changes.
Why have we been wearing the same clothes this entire time?
Well, it's because we traveled to the future, and if we were to change our outfits, that would in fact create a paradox, which would cause the Topless Robot cinematic universe to implode and create spin-offs and sequels without our main characters.
So the press conference where Randy Pitchford, well, not even a press conference, it was a panel at PAX East where Randy Pitchford announced these things, went everything but smoothly.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't actually watch any of it, but I heard it was a shit show.
So I was watching it live. Randy Pitchford, God bless him, he is an enthusiastic man, and I have a lot of respect for him for that. Like, as a CEO of his company, and we've kind of talked about this with Reggie Fils-Aimé. He had no business being the social icon of Nintendo.
His previous job was like owning Pizza Hut or something.
Yeah, but I mean, even
it's not a joke.
As a Pizza Hut delivery driver, I have delivered pizza to thousands of doors where people were playing video games. I think I have a comprehensive knowledge of what people actually want.
But what I mean to say is that even in his position at Nintendo, he had no business becoming the social icon that he became.
Yeah,
that's not an executive job. And similarly with Randy Pitchford, the amount of enthusiasm that he has to go out in public and be the key speaker on behalf of the company when addressing the audience is not the job of the CEO of a company.
No, not at all.
And he just loves it. He loves doing Magic.
The Gathering?
So much.
Or like stage
They're
magic.
called
Stage
illusions.
Oh, he's a stage magic guy?
Yeah.
That's more embarrassing than being into Magic the Gathering.
His Twitter handle is Deval Magic. He and his wife got married at the Magic Castle.
Oh, okay.
And hey, I don't have the talent to pull off, stage magic or anything, but in the middle of this thing where they're announcing all these Borderlands things, he uses the new, so there's a new Borderlands card game called Tiny Tina's Robot Tea Party, and he uses copies of this game, brings a couple of people up from the audience whose birthdays are that day or around that time.
I'm already internally groaning.
And uses them to do a card trick.
And their wallets disappeared.
So, as a gift, he gives each of them a copy of this new card game.
Happy birthday!
And has one of them open it up, pick out a card, sign his name on the card, and then that card appears in the unopened box that the other audience person is holding.
Here's a ruined fucking game.
Well, then they gave him brand new
The sealed
copies.
version?
Yeah.
The one with the signature in it?
Yeah. So it's cute. He does his thing, whatever.
Sure, he's trying.
But then he, goes to announce Borderlands 3 and play the trailer. And this, I gotta say, PAX, get your shit together. It was a 4K video because the game's been up-resed. And it did not play smoothly. They tried to start it several times and it froze several times, and it's just a video.
The mark of
a 4K
quality.
Video.
Wow.
So that's on PAX.
That's on PAX.
Yeah.
That's on PAX. Randy Pitchford, though, his reaction to it is on him, where they finally get it to play, but there's a little bit of stutter throughout it. And so he says, "Can we play that again? This time without stutter? You guys don't mind if we watch that whole thing again, do you?" I mean, realistically, they're all big Borderlands fans, so they're going to say no. Go ahead. We want to see this. But you didn't have to do that. I get it from the artist's perspective of, this was not shown in the way that I wanted it to be shown. But as from the Stage Performer's Handbook, if things go wrong, you don't start over.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just keep going until someone dies or is fired.
You remark on, okay, that was a little stuttery. You can watch this on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
And there's your solution. Problem solved. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't go, hey, I just played this this song for you, but I fucked up a couple of notes. Do you mind if we start it from the top again?
And I mean,
you
also,
don't fucking do
also,
that.
you could turn it into like a joke. You could make a joke about it of like, oh, you know, we're still working out some kinks, but by the time the game's released, that'll be all ironed out or something. Like something, anything. Like
by the time the game's out, this pre-rendered video that we made will be running properly.
We'll have loaded completely. You won't get weird fucking buffering.
It'll be
issues.
available in stores by Christmas.
But yeah, it looks like a great, I've been waiting for a good, mainline Borderlands game since pre-sequel failed to deliver.
Pre-sequel sucked.
I didn't even buy it. I just played the demo and was like, nah.
I really thought that it was going to be good.
But I also have 2 copies of Borderlands, so.
They completely, like that, Borderlands pre-sequel was not developed by Gearbox.
That makes sense.
So it was outsourced to an Australian company, which is why most of the voices in that are Australian.
Yeah.
Although that is funny to me that the Backwater Moon people are all Australian.
Backwater Moon people?
Oh, God damn it!
I mean, they're the weird neighbors.
So they also kind of they had released a teaser that was like, did you guys see the teaser? It's like all textureless models that are put together to form this elaborate sculpture that just looks so cool that the camera like pans over and stuff, and we get to see some familiar characters, we get to see some new characters, and it's all in this very stylistic kind of thing. It looks very cool to get people hyped for what they were going to announce on Friday.
That sounds incredible.
And in that video there are some hidden little things that some people picked up on right away. There are portions of shift codes hidden in different frames in it, so you could piece them together and get a shift code to enter into Borderlands 2. But there was one portion of the video where Brooks will love this. A little dot appears in the top left of the screen, and it beeps in Morse code. Don't. Nope.
Don't.
We're done? That was last week? We're done?
My phone's right here. I'm reaching into my bag for something.
Okay.
It's his actual like.
Yeah, right.
He pulls out a huge device and just like slams it onto his
I'll
lap.
have you know that I have moved past Morse, and now I am on to
Norse?
mimeograph.
Norse code.
Okay.
But the Morse
Semaphore.
code,
Ticker tape.
Look at the flags.
apparently, he revealed the Morse code, if you translate it, translates to be sure to drink your Ovaltine.
No.
Hell
fucking
yeah.
way.
That's like a joke I make all the time. Mostly to myself. Whenever I have to I see something scrambled text, I'm like, be sure to drink your Ovaltine.
But what a great fucking thing to do, that hardcore Borderlands fans are hardcore Borderlands fans, and they found the shift codes, and that they had to translate that Morse code and be like, be sure to drink your
And they had to do it in the
Ovaltine.
bathroom. They had to do it in the bathroom.
Yep.
A crummy
I wonder how many of them
commercial?
were too young and just went, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
They Google Ovaltine. They're like, why are you concerned about my
the delicious
fiber
chocolatey taste
intake?
of Ovaltine, now available in strawberry and banana.
Oh, is Ovaltine going to be a new product that is released with Borderlands 3?
Get
Collector's
Swovaltine.
edition?
Oh man. But yeah, overall, fairly grown-worthy, panel.
Little Easter egg.
But
the panel.
but
That's what
everything
we were
about it
talking
was,
about.
Imagine if
Borderlands 3, super stoked.
Imagine if they released a special edition of the game that you had to collect 5 box tops from an Ovaltine, or something like that, and then mail it in, and then it takes 6 to 8 weeks like it used to.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic cross promotion.
Oh yeah,
But Ovaltine would be relevant.
and then the
again
game
for the
comes
first
in like a
time in
shitty
50
plastic
years.
bag, like anything in a cereal box did. You know?
Yeah.
But it looks like in Borderlands 3, pretty much all of the characters from the previous Borderlands are in it, including Tales from the Borderlands characters.
So also, going back to that box top thing, will it just be like some X-ray specs with claptrap on the side? 'Cause I would love that.
You can only see the game through these glasses. A special edition.
They made the whole game with all these secret messages in the background that you can only read with these box
Put on
top
your
glasses.
X-ray specs.
Oh man.
Speaking of crazy things, Did you guys see today that Jim Carrey is in an online fight with Benito Mussolini's granddaughter?
What?
No.
Type it up, man. The truth is stranger than fiction.
Really?
I don't.
Why though?
Well, because he's Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I know
Carrey
he's
does not give
insane.
a fuck.
Political artist Jim Carrey is what? Is feuding with Benito Mussolini's granddaughter. So hey, how's your day? Today, and this would be pretty hard to explain to your grandparents news. If you're wondering what fascism leads to, just ask Benito Mussolini and his mistress Coloretta.
You are a bastard.
Bastardo!
Yikes.
Hi, Jim Carrey. Now draw this for us. And it's a nuclear blast. And now Jim Carrey draws this other. Oh, and she's... So it's Italian fascism versus American oppression.
Yeah.
Ours at least comes with 30 wonderful flavors. So
She also fired back at people making fun of her on Twitter, suggesting that their families probably had just as many skeletons in their closet, which is almost certainly not actually the case.
but none of us made
Thank you, EV Club.
a super fortress with my own face on the front, like Mussolini did.
Do you want applause?
So I'm getting the feeling that she's a piece of shit. I'm not sure, though.
She sounds almost as angry as her grandfather.
Evan O'Connell says, I think you're confusing Jim Carrey with your murderous grandfather. She responds, or maybe with some of your family.
She's probably mad that she's not a princess right now because Mussolini failed.
Evan O'Connell says, my grandfather fought to liberate Europe from people like your grandfather. She says, do you want applause?
My grandpapa kicked your grandpapa's ass.
The feud is sadly one-sided so far, as Carrey has yet to respond to Mussolini's authoritarian demands that he also draw her pictures of mushroom clouds, Rosa Parks, or Native American leaders standing in front of Mount Rushmore, all of which are apparently linked in her mind to a drawing of her dead fascist grandpa. Actually, Carrey's official Twitter only follows a single account, his daughter, Jane, which is a much less creepy show of internet familial affection. In the end, Mussolini dismissed Carrey's work as merely dirty paper, which is a relatively sick burn, we guess. We're just saying, though, we never see Beth Hitler pulling this kind of shit. Well done, AV Club. That is bizarre.
Right? Like,
She's real mad.
Yeah. Why would you defend your fascist grandpa?
Because you are also a fascist.
Oh, hey. Oh, shit.
I was just gonna...
That's it.
Ding, ding,
That's
ding, ding,
what
ding,
it
ding,
is.
ding.
maybe it's his birthday and they ruined the birthday celebration they were having.
He's clearly not alive. Why would you have a birthday party for your dead grandpa?
As an excuse to party.
But at the same
okay.
time... Oh, okay,
You're
yeah,
right,
never
you're right.
mind. I was going to say, at first I thought that Jim Carrey actually called her out in the first one, and he did not.
Nope.
So he was just specifically, all he did was...
He's talking shit on America, too.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, he's clowning on everyone.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey doesn't
Clowning.
give a fuck.
Straight clowning.
Yeah, it's one of those strange things.
He's also Canadian. I wonder if she realized.
No, that shit happens all the time. People always confuse Canadian actors for Americans.
Right. Draw a picture of this.
Oh, that's right. He's Canadian.
Yeah.
So all the shit that she's... Oh, my God, that makes this even funnier.
Yeah, we're going to draw a picture of maple syrup tap in Portland State.
What about
Oh,
this
God.
Mountie running over a raccoon by accident,
Oh,
but then
man.
stopping and giving it a
and
proper burial?
Hashtag save the trash
And apologizing
trash pandas.
to it. Yeah.
Hashtag save the trash pandas.
Oh, man. That is very bizarre.
Yeah, it's a little slice of surreality.
Yeah.
Compliments of Ace Ventura.
Pet detective.
I can't... So I can say in that interaction, I am on the side of Jim Carrey.
Natch.
We're
not fascists.
I am also never otherwise on the side of Jim Carrey. Because...
He's kind of a...
Crazy person.
Yeah.
If I held up a can of Planters mixed nuts, that would be Jim Carrey.
Though, on the topic of Jim Carrey, in Living Color Reunion.
What?
Oh, really?
Had you guys not heard about this?
No, I have
What?
not.
There is going to be an In Living Color remake.
I wasn't born in
another
1837.
Excuse you?
I know.
That was like my favorite fucking show growing up.
Mine
don't
as
beat me
well. So In Living Color is why I
The
just
first
want
one
news.
is the gays in the military sketch.
I want news. Give me news. In Living Color cast to reunite at the Tribeca
Oh, at
Film
Tribeca.
Oh, my.
Festival.
That's gonna be cool. Well, maybe potentially.
So I don't know what that's going to mean
A
specifically.
special screening.
They're all gonna be in the same
pilot
room at one time.
episode. Okay, so they're just gonna be hanging out.
Yeah.
Oh my god, why? Let's go.
Dan moment. I have no idea what In Living Color was.
Not surprised.
Really.
Yeah, I have no idea.
In Living Color was a really important show of its time because it was an African American led and primarily it was the skit comedy show that was on prime television where the token minorities were the white people.
Okay.
And it was great.
It was the Wayans bros.
It pretty much made
Well, it was
Jim Carrey's
Keenan
career.
Ivory. It also Jamie Foxx, David Allen Greer.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, Jennifer Lopez was a fly girl,
Yeah.
which was one of the girls who like danced in between the skits.
Okay.
They did a lot of underground musical acts, especially like hip hop and funk and stuff like that. At a time when like that stuff was not really being played on MTV, other than like the token Yo MTV Raps.
Yeah.
thing.
And this was like
So-
primetime Fox.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It was like
Yeah.
8 p.m. on Sundays.
It's
or
where David
something.
Geffen got his start. Oh, I'm kidding. I actually was introduced to In Living Color later because my dad enjoyed it, but he wouldn't put it on until I was like a teenager.
It
I
was
remember-
a great show, and go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean, I just remember like seeing it as a kid when I didn't get half the jokes, and then like that when I got like my first job, that was one of the first things that I bought because I remembered like my dad fucking loved that show. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy it on DVD now, and I bought it. I bought the whole series and just watched it over and over and over and over again for like most of my teens and early 20s.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely love that show. Anyway, what
So
were
yeah,
you
it's
saying?
a cast reunion and whatnot. It also kind of paved the way for the Latin version of the same thing, which I think I brought up on the podcast before. John Leguizamo's House of Buggin', which was a primarily Latin casted, primarily or entirely Latin casted skit comedy show with John Leguizamo, and Luis Guzman was on it, if I remember correctly. And it was a lot of up-and-coming Latinx comedians of the early 90s.
Hell yeah.
So it was really a very cool thing that you didn't see. Like, you know, these minority groups were not represented in this way at all at the time, and it was fucking rad.
I'm seeing now why I hadn't heard of it. It only aired for one more year after I was born.
Yeah, 1990 to 1994.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you don't gotta lie to kick it. All right, you can go back and watch it anytime.
You can. I no longer have the DVDs, but I think my sister does. It would just take some.
Last year, Carrie said he
Yeah.
was in favor of an In Living Color reboot. I don't know that it would fly, girl, the same way in this time.
I'm also pretty sure that the Wayans brothers have dug themselves into a deep enough hole that people would no longer take them seriously.
Yeah, probably.
Not even in a comedy
Yeah.
aspect.
Yeah,
So,
but that's still pretty cool.
but we also have a little less than a month to get tickets to the Tribeca Film Festival.
Yeah.
This is April 27th.
April 20. The screening is on April
Screening is
27th.
on the
Yeah.
27th. We don't have to go to the whole thing.
Just
I
the
have-
just the In Living Color screening.
I have a couple dollars in my bank account.
All right, let's go to New York.
$2
go.
Well, if we ever want to go someplace out of town as a group sometime, my mom is a corporate travel agent, so we can probably get a pretty decent deal.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
On that note, we have come to the end of the podcast. I want to remind everyone that this podcast, as every podcast, has been brought to you by Humble Bundle.
Oh, you fucker.
Go to toplessrobot.com/humble. By the time this episode comes out, all of the April games will have been released as they release on April 5th, and we will be on to May. The May early unlocks, which we'll post about because the next episode is going to be a collection of pre-show clips that we've never released, so we have time to move to the new studio.
Woo!
It's gonna be sick.
It's time to skip ab day, folks, because your stomach is gonna hurt, and not because you were laughing.
But
because you ate some weird old Chinese food that you found in the back of your fridge.
Humble Bundle is absolutely, Humble in general is absolutely awesome. You get great deals on games, which are only increased when you're a Humble monthly subscriber, which is only $12 a month. You get a bunch of Steam keys every single month, like 9 or 10 Steam keys every month, as well as a 10% discount on everything in the Humble store, except I think the Nintendo games are not included in that. But still, really great deal. All you get Steam keys, and
I too yearn for the sweet release of new discounted games.
So go to toplessrobot.com/humble, and that'll put our little partner code in the URL for you, and you can browse to your heart's content and buy a bunch of cheap games. Super fucking worth it. This episode is also brought to you by Ripped Apparel. Ripped Apparel is the place to go for a bunch of...
You love us. You really love us.
For pop culture mashup apparel, similar to what I am wearing, though this is not specifically a Ripped Apparel shirt. I am wearing an Adventurama shirt, Adventure Time and Futurama mashup. They do stuff like that. Lots of really cool artwork, and yeah. I like them a lot. Go to toplessrobot.com/ripped. That's toplessrobot.com/RIPT.
Ripped!
Good Lord.
Jesus, clip the mic, why don't
ears.
Yeah, that one got me.
That fucker.
Does anyone have any rants and or raves this week?
Rants, raves.
No.
Whoa.
I was trying to remember if I had any. Anything like, beyond what we've already talked about, my excitement for certain
I have
reasons.
a rave.
Okay.
Podcast over.
No, but seriously, Risk of Rain 2 is in early access and is being published by Gearbox. I learned of its existence through the Gearbox presentation at PAX East, and I was skeptical because it is a full 3D sequel to a very minimalist, where your main characters are all of 16 pixels, roguelike that I love. And fuck if that is not a goddamn fun game. That is... Oh, I had so much fun playing that game. And I think by the time this episode releases, this offer may be over. But if you, at least for a while, I got to double check on the dates. But Risk of Rain 2, if you buy it, you get a free copy to give to a friend. Because that game is definitely something that is best played with friends. And
unless you're really drunk in your room playing it by yourself.
Way to alienate really half of our audience. We have to have friends.
I bought it on Friday and have sunk 12 hours into that game. It is a ton of fucking fun.
Check your fucking privilege.
Whoa, hey. Whoa. Hey, whoa, hey. Whoa.
Let's all calm down here and try to focus on the positive.
God.
You're talking to the guy with 5 jobs here.
God.
Things suffered because I wanted to play that game.
That sounds about right.
Mostly me suffering because I have to edit the podcast. I have to render the podcast that comes out tomorrow right away for a midnight release.
Behind
after
the
we
scenes
record
with
this.
Topless Robot.
Yep.
Fortunately, by wearing our patented Topless Robot protective undergarments that are certainly not diapers, you can save up to 30 extra minutes of gameplay time.
But that is all for this episode of the Topless Robot Podcast. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks. It's weird.
Bye.
It's weird.
It's weird.
We should all shave.
Okay.
Bye.
Done.
Whoa!
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Account again.
If you like that video, we've got many more videos, tons of episodes of the Topless Robot Podcast, all kinds of Let's Plays, and please subscribe.